Hello and welcome to this beautiful segment of Daybreak Africa, where we ask questions to seek individual opinion on the particular subject matter. I am Bidemi Moses, and today I have a very important guest with me. He's a public affairs analyst, he's a public health practitioner, and also, let me just call him a journalist. He's by name Olumide Obanla. Obanla, it's nice having you on the show.
Talkative, thank you very much. It's nice to have you too. It's been a while though.
All right, it's a pleasure having you here. We'll be talking about 2023 election, and there are some unanswered questions. Nigerians are starting to ask questions that we have a whole lot of failed government in the past. And some are even saying the present government has failed us a whole lot. We see people kill before they get fuel. We see people kill before they get, before they withdraw money from their own account, the account they opened by themselves. But seeing people saying that the government has failed them, do you think we have hope in the coming 2023 election?
Well, my own perspective about those things is there is still hope when we get to do things right. But there is no hope for us if we decide to do them in the wrong way. But practically speaking, if we are to analyze whatever we have gone through in this country, we need to be very sincere with ourselves that it's as if Nigeria is getting to degenerate from being a developing nation to an underdeveloped country. Because there are so many things that should not still be happening that have started happening. And I've always told people, at times I've had opportunity to sit with any of them to tell them that this decision that we want to take by February this year by the grace of God will either make or make our hope alive. So if we take the wrong decisions, fine. If we take the worst decisions, fine. But to me, there is always hope. When we think there is hope, there's always hope. You see, I was seeing a document by the CBN governor today, Emefiele, when he was discussing where he wrote something saying he has actually seen Mr. President, and he has discussed with Mr. President on this thing we are witnessing, this cash crunch or scarcity of cash. And he said, yes, he said the presidency has approved that they give us a space. But let's be very sincere with ourselves. It is not only the government that will make this country a better place. We citizens that has no political positions, in our own civil responsibility, have to make this country better too. Last year, they told us there was going to be a change in our currency. We kept on shouting as Nigerians. I told somebody, I said, Nigerian for sure. Nigerians will not do what you're supposed to do at the right time, but when it is at the tail end of it getting close, you see everybody starts running around. We wouldn't have witnessed all these things if all of us are taking time to listen to whatever CBN has been telling us since October. I had a friend that told me, okay, is it not Nigeria? What CBN has done will not come into pass until next 17, 15 years. Yes. But let's be very sincere ourselves. In developed countries, it should happen between 5 to 8 years. We need to keep evolving around this world if we want to continue, if we want to live up to standard where we need to be. But if we keep dragging our feet by, you see, most of the people that are shouting about this issue, our politicians, I was so surprised to see the Senate asking that this should be elongated by 6 months, and I smiled. And there was a statement I want to point out in that document. The CBN governor said, he said, for Nigerians to be able to deposit money that they have legitimately acquired. Take that word. He didn't say illegitimate. He said legitimately acquired.
Which means there is a certain amount an individual must possess.
So that shows that our Nigerian politicians that have eaten their bowel to be so few
to the brim
can no longer rush to the bank to deposit this money because it is illegitimate. So now, they want a situation whereby you can just elongate this and I'll be able to spread my money across some people so that they can deposit on my behalf. I was so surprised to see stack of money being left in Keke, somewhere in Lagos, and everybody.
And the trucks too.
In the trucks. You see, CBN told us today that by the grace of God, they've been able to take back into their DMBs, about 1.3 trillion naira.
Wow.
Which is not even... It's about 70% or 75% of the money that they claim is in circulation. Now, where's the rest? And he was saying that before this issue, they had only 500 billion back. But now they have 1.3 trillion or thereabouts. So you see, whatever policy that has been brought in here, I am not an economist. And by the grace of God, I only understand what I read. I am not an economist. If you are telling me about an affair, if you are telling me to talk about a public affair, I will tell you. Public health, I will tell you. But on this issue, I think our economy expert has done the best. But to me, I think Nigeria want to go cashless. They want to bring in the issue of cashless policy, whereby myself, yourself, a mega seller in the market can actually take transfers, can actually get something without getting paid. So by the time we go cashless, I think there are a lot of things that will be resolved. When I told you my father was kidnapped and a certain huge amount of money was taken with my younger brother, we paid in cash. But now when these hoodlums knows you can no longer get as much as that in cash, then they will have to be very careful of whatever they do. When they know I can no longer, you see, most of these illegal guns we purchase today in this country are purchased by cash.
Cash, yes.
So eventually, if we're going cashless, we will not be able to purchase these things, then I have to make transfers. Then when I make transfers for illegitimate business, it can actually be traced by our BVNs. So no matter how much you hide, your BVN that was done by the Jonathan regime has exposed us. So forget about the fact anybody shouting about this policy is wrong is actually part of those that have corrupted us all.
But talking about the policy, a whole lot of people kept on saying that the policy is another way of curbing vote buying, that's vote transaction. But looking at it, even the hold currency is no longer available for people to purchase. Let me cite an example. I wanted to withdraw some cash, and the POS agent told me that I will have to pay 100 naira to withdraw 1,000 naira. And that doesn't mean I will even get the new currency. I will get the old currency. Now, the availability of both the old and the new currency is nowhere to be found. And another thing is, we see Nigerians suffering for their hand-earned money, with the money they acquire legally, legitimately. But don't you think it's whatever policy they are making to affect the politicians is affecting an ordinary citizens also? Don't forget, our mothers in the market that say Maggi and pepper will not take transfer for 200 naira.
My brother, let us be very sincere ourselves. I was also in the bank to take some cash. And there was no cash. And when I was talking to the bank official, he told me, he said, why don't you encourage cashless policy? My wife went to the market to buy tomato and pepper and some other things, and she made transfer. The woman said, do me transfer, but you have to wait to make sure.
For me to confirm the alert.
Confirm the alert, yes. You see, one of the problems we have in this country is our market structures. It's our market structure. Forget about the fact, you see, I've told you, and I'll continue to tell people, there was a time I was talking to somebody, I said the amalgamation of Nigeria that happened in 1914 is a scam. I said, but if I told that is a scam, I said, Nigerians keeps underdeveloping Nigeria. I read a book when I was still growing, and I keep reading most of the times because I want to keep reading. I said, how Europe underdeveloped Africa. And I think there was a time I decided to write a piece of how Nigerians has also underdeveloped Nigeria. We Nigerians. Let me ask you a question, sir. The scarcity of that fund or the scarcity of the old note that has made that man say, that POS agent told you 100 naira and 1,000. Ask him, did he buy the cash in the bank? Did he?
Some will tell you they need to pay extra amount to get the money.
Was he charged extra to get it?
Some of them will give the excuse.
Yes. Was it because they are also involved in illegality? The CBN has said old notes you shouldn't spend, want to spend new notes. I was in the bank, I cannot withdraw more than 30,000 a day in my ATM. And while I was lining up on Saturday to get some certain cash, I saw some people there. They also line up with about 5, 6, 7 ATMs. And the agent and the security man was telling them he cannot use more than one. Now, when they get 30,000 from me, they will go and line up again to the back. Now, that shows at the end of the day, somebody has been able to get about 150,000 naira, and somebody is still on the queue, not being able to get. And most of the people that does these things are the POS agents. I was talking to somebody, I said, it is high time we cancel this POS. If I'm supposed to go by the name, what is the full meaning of POS? Point of sales.
So we are supposed to be using POS at the market and the store.
A market woman that doesn't want to take transfer, I go to the bank, they give me a POS, you buy something from me, I insert my card, I pay for it, and I walk out. But now our POS has been turned into a business-making machine. And don't forget the fact that some of our bank officials are even the owners of this ATM. A friend of mine would be a certain witness to it. When a certain bank, I don't want to mention it, when a certain bank on Sunday, thereabout, wanted to get cash, there was no cash again in the ATM. After I had gotten the information that the ATM was loaded about 30 minutes before I got there, there was no cash there. Now, I met the bank official there. It was in the evening on Sunday. I told him, why should you people say you want to go cashless and the little cash we need, you've not put it in your ATM? He said, then we just load it and it got finished. And while we were discussing, he said, I can go to that ATM, to that POS, and I'm going to get new notes.
And the POS will be very, very close to the bank.
Do you know that throughout the whole POS that I've been able to work from, there were no new notes? But that POS is just in a space, in about maybe a meter or thereabout from the bank.
From the bank.
And when I got to the guy, I was talking to the guy, and the guy wasn't so careful enough. He was able to just say, I said, okay, I want to take cash. And he said, no, there's no new note again, but I'm going to go into the bank and get. I said, past 6, how do you go into the bank and get new notes past 6? I've got into the ATM, there's no new note, so how do you go in there for past 6? To be very honest with you, I saw the guy walk out of his own small cubicle, went to meet the bank official I just spoke to, and the bank official, the both of them went into the bank, and they came out with a stack of cash, new note. And I was able to quiz the guy. Who was that? He said he's the owner of the POS. Now, bank officials having the entire masses so that they can do their own business. You see, everything we keep blaming the government for, it is not always the government's fault. I have a fault, you have a fault. They all have a fault. That is the sincere truth of the matter. I was talking to a market woman. I said, by venture today, if market prices go down, if our inflation rate that is high, that is at the high rate, comes down, will the price of your commodities come down? She's smart. They are really enjoying this. If you ask most of them, what they buy is not what they sell.
Of course, yes.
If I'm thinking I want to make 50,000 naira and just a good at once, then I'm not. Let me just be very careful there.
But Oba, let me ask you this question. We all know that it is all this. We Nigerians are the one behind our own predicament. But let us talk. Let us delve into the oil sector. There's scarcity of fuel. Some people will say that the barrel of crude oil we produce on daily basis is not enough for us. It's not enough to serve us as a nation. But come to think of it, a whole lot of petrol stations are holding this fuel they have already, or because they are waiting for subsidy removal or not. Now, we have to queue. Don't you think the scarcity of fuel will still affect our election?
I want to quickly say something. Why should Buvas filling station and some filling stations we know, why should they sell fuel for 190? 180, and some of these people sell for as much as 450 filling stations.
Some sell 500.
Have we asked ourselves that question? Are they not getting it from the same marketers? I have told you that our problem is our problem. We are the problem of ourselves. I was talking to a certain person. The person told me, why it is right, the rate is, I have to buy from this person, and the person I bought from has bought from this person. So it is their business. But you telling me that fuel scarcity will affect 2023 election? Well, maybe on the part that INEC said fuel scarcity is going to affect them because of their own logistical reasons. But to me, as an average Nigerian, do I need fuel to go and vote? I don't. When it is time for election, you cannot drive to where you want to go and vote. There's no vehicular movement. So why do I need fuel to go and vote? This is even time for Nigerians to sit down and say, okay, there's no fuel scarcity, let us take the decision. There's fuel scarcity, let us take the decision. I will travel to my hometown to where I vote or vote. Where I vote, even if I'm not going to, I will take my time to walk as far as 5 hours to go and vote, if it has come to that. We should be part of this revolution that we are talking about. You get what I'm saying now? So, fuel scarcity in a way will affect general election. Fine. On the part of INEC, that is the Independent National Electoral Commission, that is trying to see us through this election logistically. But on our part as the masses, it has not affected. I don't know if it's going to affect you, but it's not going to affect me to go and vote. I am ready to trek 7 hours to go and vote. And I'm ready to trek. After voting, I'm not even going to leave my voting place. I will sit down there for the next 7 hours. When you count my vote, I'm ready to trek another 7 hours. So fuel scarcity is not going to affect me. But on the part of INEC, it's going to go a long way into affecting them.
Okay, I want to ask 2 questions,
Yes.
but I want your reaction in less than 3 minutes.
No problem.
The first question, people are clamoring, and also our lawmakers are clamoring for school to be closed so that students can travel down home to go and vote, because they are aware a whole lot of students got their PVC at their hometown or their place of residence, not where they are schooling. Now, students will have to travel down home, might have to travel down home to go and vote. Now, INEC are saying it is none of their business for school to be closed before election can go on. Now, is it right for our schools to be closed so we can have election? That's one. The second question is, how sure are we that all the aspirants we have, they are not another tyrant in disguise as an ant?
Well, the first question, in a very quick way, INEC should not try as much as possible to defranchise anybody. It's my franchise to go and vote. And if I am here, I'm just going to be a student in a certain university for just 4 years. I won't transfer my voting card here for the next 4 years. And after I'm leaving here again 4 years, I'm transferring back to another place. No, INEC should not defranchise us. The school is just going to be closed for just about 2 days of the voting period or 3 days. Fine. I am in support of let the school be closed, let people go back home. Some students will still stay wherever they are because some of them are indigenous of those places and they will still. For me, we don't need to defranchise any student. It is their civic right. They have franchise. Let them go and vote. Let the schools be closed. Don't forget the fact that we should also put into consideration our security. We might not be able to secure our students during this certain period of time. None of us knows what might happen during that election. There might be so much security breach during that period. So we also need to be very careful. Our students, they are very porous. They are not secured enough. So we should all allow these people go home. Do not defranchise anybody. Let them have their franchise. Let them go back home. Let them vote. On the issue of that, which of these people are what do you call them?
Not a tyrant in this guy's.
You see, let me tell you something. An average politician in Nigeria is a tyrant. And every politician in Nigeria is a tyrant. Yes, I kept on, you see, if you see the way all of them are talking, they are all talking because of their selfish interest. If anybody else, I was even informed that one of these people that want to become president, one of these candidates, when he was asked, he said, even if it's for me to become president just for 1 day, I don't mind. So is that person coming because of Nigeria? So it's not my business. What I think is, my own perspective, if this person is better, might differ from your own perspective. So I know who I want to vote, you know who you want to vote. Let us all keep praying to God. And God is going to keep our hope alive. So all our politicians are tyrant because we keep recycling them until we are ready to stop recycling them. And let us bring in people that have not even known anything about this. Thank you very much.
All right. One of these days, I would love to have a discussion with you on recycling the aged politician, recycling the same people, but that would be talk for another day.
If you want to recycle them, it's very simple now. Buhari was contested for how many times before he became president?
Of course.
You brought somebody from being chairman, blah, 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 and they keep going there. So why should we keep using the same thing? It keeps circulating. Atiku became a governor. Atiku got elected as a governor. Won his election as a governor. He was told not to resume. They brought him in as the vice president. After 8 years of vice presidency, he has been coming back to become president and has been contesting. It's time for the youth to stand up and say, no, it is not our time. Obi was 8 years governor, and now he says I told somebody if he has done well in Anambra, he should sit down in Anambra and keep enjoying whatever he has done. And you not coming now. We need to keep. And the Emilokan of Lagos State has done a lot in Lagos State, and he said he wants to bring
a governor, being a senator.
And they want to keep shouting. His wife is a senator. It has become a family affairs. And don't be surprised next week when the son says he wants to become governor. So we need to be very careful of our decisions. Our decisions is what we use in recycling them. If peradventure we say no today, no to them, no to them, no to them. So where is there? People are there. So we can recycle them in those places. So it's just a very normal thing.
All right, in 3 words, what is your parting word and also your advice for Nigerians, especially those that are on queue to withdraw money and also to buy fuel?
You see, my advice for those that want to buy fuel, the Bible itself says this, that there's nothing good that will come without you facing the hardship first. So, like Nigerians, let us face. But Nigerians too should also know that we need to talk. You talk. It is not only talking about the government. Talk to people that are there, that you see that are affecting us. There was a time I went to the bank and I wanted to take 100,000 from a POS man during this cash crunch. this scarcity of funds. And you know what he told me? He said 10,000 and 100,000. And I told him that you are part of the people that have destroyed this nation. I won't take the money. I won't take the money from you. And he was looking at me. Yes, I said I would rather go and take 10,000 from the ATM and keep it than take 100,000 naira from you for 10,000. I said you are part of the people that are destroying this nation. So the truth of the matter is this. In as much as we are trying to talk to the government to resolve issues for us, let us talk to ourselves as citizens of this country too. Let us also tell ourselves what we are not doing right, what we are doing wrong. And my parting word to our viewers out there about the 2023 election is, let's stop vote buying, vote your conscience, and be watchful. Do not run away when you vote. Stay there, protect your vote, count your vote, announce your winner, and Nigeria will be better.
All right, I won't want to continue mentioning all what you have said before, but I love his word. Ensure your vote is count, because your vote does count. And follow through your vote, vote for the right person, so that you won't be sitting back at home and be telling us the government are doing you bad. I am Bidemi Moses. Until some other time, I will be coming to your screen once again. Please stay safe and don't forget, you need to vote. Bye.